Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar, and in today's episode, we are thrilled to be joined by Rimbout Bobeldijk. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here and I'm doing well.
Awesome. I'm excited to dive in because I know a little bit more about your business. Typically, I don't know much about it before I hop on these podcasts. So I want to start off, tell the listeners when you got started in business and kind of what your main focus is today.
Yeah, so it's been a journey. My feel for entrepreneurship grew while I was studying, and I think the unique thing was that I studied communications multimedia design, and lots of designers don't really code, but the unique thing is that I didn't mind coding, so I also just coded a lot of assignments for the designers that were scared of code. So I became like this at the time unicorn of, oh, I can code and I can understand design. And during my graduation projects or internships, I saw this kind of another problem but opportunity of seeing like the communication go wrong between design team and development team. And after graduating grading didn't really feel like becoming a designer or a developer. I wanted to bridge them both together. And it was really nicely timed with a nice evolution in the technologies. The no-code movement came really up with new tools like Webflow. And once I learned Webflow, it really clicked, and I felt like empowered to build my own agency. And now I do full branding, full web design, and I can be like technical and marketing, but that's what I'm doing now.
Very cool. So branding, design,
Yeah.
what kind of companies do you like to work with? Who's your main ideal customer?
Yeah, like I think I rolled into a niche of more of the conscious, holistic business where I helped also like the psychedelic space a lot, and there's like a lot of retreats and coaches, and I was having a lot of strong personal interest. But along the road, I've seen like a lot of gray space where they are having gray space legally, so they have
Yeah.
blocked in a way where they don't get funding that much
Yep.
and shifted my attention to more architectural projects of architect businesses. And I feel like it really aligns well because I help them really make a really strong first impression. And that's really important if you sell a dream as an architect. Okay, this is how your dream house could be. And without a strong impression, people might just click away in a second.
Okay, so in the psychedelic space to start, and then you shifted over, and now you're more focused on architectural business.
Yeah.
Specifically, when you're working with these types of clients, what is the outcomes that you're helping them solve? Like, what are you specifically doing for them? Walk us through that service and what that offer looks like.
Yeah, so it's quite a broad A to Z kind of thing because that's like also a specialty of me being quite creative and technical at the same time. But it all starts with kind of a foundational, more strategic process where I do a lot of branding workshops, discovering their vision, their mission, their purpose, and defining their identity, and also not just visually, also verbally, their tone of voice, and really think out how they want to position themselves or show up to the world. And from there, once that kind of I really get a deeper understanding of the person or business, I start a visual exploration, usually like three different visual concepts. And that includes like logos, colors, typography, graphic elements. And yeah, through the whole process, we'll develop the whole visual identity, and that kind of translates further to like web design, web development. And then once there's like a really magical website, I'll also like optimize them for search engine optimization, maybe help them develop a blog or think with them how they could get more traffic to their site. And sometimes there's some ongoing conversion optimization because a website is never finished. It can always be
Yeah.
improved. That's the whole picture.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, thanks for breaking that down. So it's a very A to Z approach. You're helping them with the full works when it comes to branding, when it comes to their website, when it comes to their
Yeah.
SEO, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
How long are you typically working with your clients?
So yeah, my goal is to build long-term relationships, and yeah, usually if there's a more established business, it makes sense that after this all kind of finished, it leads to a bit of a retainer. So I think it's like quite an intense process for 12 weeks, but
Mm.
then maybe the website is finished. And if it's a more established business with a budget, they tend to pay me a retainer to keep nudging and improving it over time.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. So initially it's a 8 to 10, 12-week engagement. From there, it can be retainer based depending on what they need
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
How are you currently attracting your clients?
So yeah, this is like a constantly evolving process for me because I'm testing multiple things. But I've got a good following on LinkedIn, like 4,500 followers, like 500 on X. I
Yeah.
came there a little later, and maybe like Contra and like some smaller platforms as well. Yeah, I try to engage and post there, but I also have a blog. So yeah, so I try to narrow it down because now I feel like I'm a bit all over the place currently. But the blog is also generating like 2,000 visitors each month, and there's a call to action to a emailing list. So having that all set up, but being still solo in this business, it's trying to be strategic with my time. And I feel like sometimes direct outreach leads to quicker results, but also I feel like I'm strategically creating partnerships. For example, I'm helping an agency that's really mostly doing like content and the branding, but they don't have a person doing the website. Through that partnership, sometimes occasionally deals comes in. And so it's mostly word of mouth and referrals, the biggest share, and I try to reduce that. But yeah, it's an ongoing journey to find the thing that generates predictable leads. And I'm on my
Mhm.
journey to find that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. A lot of people are. Okay, very cool. I guess when you think of the future and you think about really where you want to take this company, what's your vision? Paint me that picture of where you want to be a couple of years down the line.
Mm, good question. Yeah, like I've like probably niched it more down. Probably have a couple of architectural companies that are a little bigger in my portfolio and really fully understand them on a deep level and probably start attracting like high level architects that I can charge a higher premium price with, but also probably dialed down and matured my marketing strategy. So I hope to achieve this, yeah, predictable flow of leads. And if that kind of comes, then I'll also would like to hire maybe a VA, small team. That's a later stage that I haven't fantasized that much, but I don't mind seeing myself with a small team. I wouldn't see myself with a huge team, but a small team sounds like something nice the future I would be down for. Yeah, I don't know if that does that paint the whole picture, or do you would
Yeah,
like?
yeah, no, that's super helpful. Yeah, I appreciate you for breaking that down. I am curious. So you started this, I think, 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you could go back in time 3 years and give yourself some advice, something
Mhm.
that you didn't know when you first started, but today, because obviously it's 3 years later and you've gained a lot of experience, you've gained a lot of knowledge, and you learned a lot more. What do you think you would tell yourself if you could go back in time?
Wow. Yeah. Good question. I think if I think back about the whole journey, I think uh, there's not that much that I would like to change. Like I had a mentor and I took my time to learn the things, and I felt like I was quite calm in the way of game in a season of learning. I took a lot of punches of like mistakes, but everything you need to make the mistakes to learn. Sometimes I try to be able to learn the thing without making the mistake, but some things inside of me sometimes need to make the mistake before I integrate them. I would say just fully believe in yourself and just keep going and don't overthink that much. I think the less thinking and just doing I did, the faster my results were. I think, yeah, something comes up like now thinking like there was the first year definitely a lot of productive procrastination where I was like I was thinking like, oh, I need to have everything about my business plan written out, or I was constantly doing that type of things that were in a sense slightly productive, but it honestly was productive procrastination. And I would, yeah, yeah.
For sure. No, I completely get it. And when I ask that question, I don't think of it from the realm of regret of, okay, I wish I did this. It's
Yeah.
more, there's always good learning lessons. And I think
Mhm.
when, like, personally, when I ask myself this question, like Tony Robbins says, the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions that you ask yourself.
Yeah.
So if I think that, okay, if I could go back in time and give myself some advice to accelerate my learning, what would that be? Just the fact that of sitting down and figuring out what that is helps me
Mhm.
personally determine these are the biggest lessons. And then now that I have put them on paper or put them in a Google Doc, for example, then it becomes a lot more solidified in your mind. And I find that a lot of times these lessons are jumbled around in your mind, but then when you're forced to distill them down into something that's coherent and explain it to somebody else, then
Mhm.
you benefit a lot from that by doing
Yeah.
that. Does that make sense? Because I agree that in life that you should never regret what happened, or you should never live in that state, that low energy state of, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that, blah, 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 blah. That's a low energy state. I don't want to live in that state.
Yeah.
But I still want to take my learning lessons and then use them to catapult me further in the future.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, go for it.
Yeah, I'm just like digging in my brain of, well, what is it? I do this thing where I make my daily note and I kind of condense into a weekly note, and like those kind of get into like my monthly note or something. But there also, I sort them in yellow learnings, and the learnings come in a learning document,
Nice.
and I can scroll through time of like my learnings, but I always keep the top 10 priorities of, okay, these are my top things to focus on. And that works really well for me. I learned it from my mentor, or I slightly upgraded it. But yeah, that's a really nice learning process to reinforce your focus. Uh,
100%.
yeah.
What is the best way for people to reach out to you to work with you?
So I've rimbodesigns.com. There you can see all my works and my whole services laid down and my processes laid down. And there you can just directly book a call with me. Yeah, rimbodesigns.com.
And that's RIMBO designs.com.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Your website is beautiful. It's
thanks.
absolutely
Yeah,
gorgeous.
put a lot of passion into it.
Yeah, 100%. Rimba, I appreciate your time, man. Any final words before we wrap up?
Mm. Yeah, no, I thought that maybe like where's the future going for web design? So one interesting maybe thing is I work mostly with Webflow, and I feel Webflow is the tool innovating the web. Lots of businesses are still in old systems or WordPress, and Webflow is really innovating. They have this thing called Webflow Optimize, and there with that you can AI can in real time adapt to the user. So through that tool, the web is becoming more and more hyper personalized. And that's just where the future is going with the websites and conversion optimization, and something I'm quite excited about and like to share. But
Yeah, thank you
yeah,
for sharing that. I'm
yeah,
definitely going to personally look into that.
yeah, it's quite exciting. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Sorry, go for it.
For the rest, just a pleasure to be here. I'd like the invite. Thank you.
Anytime, man. So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go to rimbodesigns.com. That's RIMBO designs.com. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we were able to go from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.